everything around me. Green, get the money. Dollar bill, yo.
What's up, guys? Got some more Crowfall action for you today. We are back in HungerDome. No, it is not the year 2015, but funnily enough, so HungerDome actually came out in 2015 during the Kickstarter for Crowfall, and it was actually one of the first battle royales to ever hit the gaming sphere, I believe. Fortnite came out in 2017, and the Crowfall Battle Royale came out in 2015. Now, the Crowfall Battle Royale was actually just a combat and engine testing environment. It was a white box. They basically just made a white box and threw people in it, told them to smash each other in the face just so they could test it and make sure, the most basic of things worked. And it turned out it was actually pretty fun, and a lot of people liked it and kind of wanted them to keep it in the game. However, the main game of Crowfall is the campaigns. That is still the case, but funnily enough, they've brought it back, and it's going to be an alternative game mode in Crowfall. Now, I do think this is actually a good idea. At first, I was a little iffy on it, but I started thinking about it a little bit more, and the way I see it is I kind of see it like WoW Arenas. I'm a big WoW Arena guy, and WoW Arenas are not World of Warcraft, right? It's just a thing you do in World of Warcraft. So I totally see HungerDome as the same way. I think the main part of Crowfall is the campaigns and the campaign worlds and all that stuff. They built all that stuff. And the thing with HungerDome is that when you have built all of those big systems for the main MMO, they really didn't have to spend a ton of development time making HungerDome. When you make all the characters and classes and vendor systems and guild systems, when you make all those back-end systems for the main game, you can throw together HungerDome relatively quickly compared to that. So I wouldn't worry if you're a Crowfall backer that, oh my god, they spent all this time and money working on Fortnite instead of the actual Siege, Warfare, Game of Thrones game, right? Not really. I'm sure a few designers and developers have been put on HungerDome, but largely in the grand scheme of the last 5 years they've been making this game, 95% of the effort has been going towards the campaigns, probably more. So I wouldn't worry about that. I do think that HungerDome is a good thing for the game, especially once they get it to where you can queue for HungerDome in the campaigns. That's something I really don't like right now, is that you can't queue for HungerDome while you're running around the campaign world. They are going to be allowing you to do that. So once that's in, that'll be great. But the reason I think it's good for the game in general is because the campaigns in Crowfall, by design, are unfair. You're going to have these powerhouse guilds that are way stronger than everybody else come in and steamroll the lesser guilds. But the lesser guilds can team up. You have underdog situations, politics. That's part of the fun of the campaign worlds, is that they're unfair and that interesting things can happen because of that. Because it is this situation where you never know what's going to be over top of the hill. It could be 5 guys, 50 guys, no guys. You just don't know. Anything could happen because it's just wide open. Take the restrictor plates off in the campaign worlds. But I think it's great that we have a more quote-unquote fair competitive outlet where, you want to take me and 5. That's always the thing in Crowfall, right? When people lose a fight, I bet you can't do that with equal numbers. This is the equal numbers. Like, people have the outlet to be like, yeah, I bet you can't take me and my boys. I mean, that's been a thing in Crowfall for so long. Somebody loses a fight. Hey, want to 5v5 in our EK? Why don't you 1v1 me? Like, what? There's always been that craving of, like, oh, man, if it was fair, we would have fucked them up. And now there's an outlet for that. So I really like it. I plan on playing the hell out of the campaign worlds and HungerDome. I think it's great. I think the concept overall is great. And I think it was a good investment of time and money for them too, because when you make an MMO, when you make an MMO, you have to make all these back-end systems, which is most of the work for these games, by the way. The game development stuff, it's all art and back-end systems. It's not the actual design part. They can iterate on the design and buffs and nerfs real quick. It's all the art and back-end systems and vendors and class powers and class mechanics and back-end engineering shit. In terms of throwing it together for HungerDome, probably pretty quick. They probably are able to do this pretty quick. So I like it. I think it's a good thing for the game. So with that being said, there absolutely are some issues. Number one, and probably most seriously, is the optimization. This is not acceptable. I understand HungerDome is very new, and they probably haven't, really started to optimize it yet because the map might change. So I can understand why they haven't started to really do the heavy like cheating optimizations where they go and they like remove the textures off of the back of, things you can't see. There's a lot of optimization they can do with HungerDome that they can't do with the campaigns because the HungerDome is a static arena map. The buildings don't move. Everything is in the same place every time for the most part. So they can go and do these heavy optimizations where, if you only see this side of a castle wall, they can go and just remove all these textures. They in theory should be able to do quite a bit of optimization for HungerDome. Let's hope, because the right now the frame rate is not acceptable at all for a static arena game mode. I mean, if you want this to be a competitive game mode, it needs to be higher, it needs to be more consistent. The game feels so much better with a high consistent frame rate. The consistent part is very important. I would much rather have a consistent 45 or 50 frames than 80, 30, 80, 30, 80, 30. So, yeah, that's huge. Part of the reason why, a lot of people don't like Crowfall combat is they'll get in these situations where the game is just chugging and it feels like you're running through mud. And it's not unplayable, but it's like, it doesn't feel right. If they can get if they can just get it consistent, medium to high frame rate, if they can get consistent 60, dude, God, that would be amazing. That would make the game feel so much better because I say this all the time, anybody that's dueled in an EK where you have that frame rate that never dips, that never staggers, that never quivers at all, it is so much better. I mean, it's night and day. So that's got to happen. Another big problem with HungerDome right now is that there is not a lot of incentive to kill other players. Right now, the loot is bugged, so when in the future, or actually in the past, because this didn't used to be bugged, you could kill other players, and if they had gold on them and jewelry and things like that, you could take that and, increase your power by killing other players and taking their stuff. However, even with that, it's still really not worth it to kill other players. You're wasting time that you could be farming and getting better gear yourself, or avoiding conflict and getting better position. So right now, killing players really just isn't worth it, and the defensive play styles are seeming to be the best way to play so badly that legitimately a team that got 0 kills and did maybe 100,000 damage, which is nothing, won a HungerDome. The defensive play styles are way too powerful. So I have some suggestions on how to fix that. One of them would do wonders for the game, and that would be, my suggestion is some sort of small stacking buff your entire group gets for killing a player. So if you kill a player, let's say you get a 2% extra damage and healing, something like that, or 2%, something like that, some sort of stacking buff like that for every single player you kill. So if your group goes into into that final HungerDome circle, you're going to want to have a higher kill count. You're going to have an advantage over that group that just played defensively the entire time. So just something like that I think would be good. So that's what I would suggest. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. I think that's a pretty good idea. Is just some sort of, it doesn't need to be big. I don't think it needs to be big because there is still some incentive. You do still get loot once they fix that. But just a little bump up, just a little bit more incentive to get out there and get some kills and fight people. Because most of the fights right now, if you actually want to win, the best thing to do is just avoid people. And, the perfect game is, you not seeing anybody until the very end and then having your cheese ball hunger strat and winning like that. All right, now let's talk about the elephant in the room, and that is the tournament. So, first of all, I will not be playing in the Crowfall HungerDome tournament. It is against the tournament rules, and it is also against U.S. law for me to compete in this for various reasons. But I do still plan on watching it and paying attention to it. I'm excited for it. The best result, in my opinion, for this HungerDome tournament, in terms of who I want to see win, I want to see someone win that is out of left field. I want to see somebody new. I just don't want to see, not that I'm rooting against anybody in my guild or anybody that I know that I'm playing with right now, but if I had to pick the winner. I would love to see it be somebody I don't know, somebody that nobody knows, comes out of nowhere, does something weird and wacky, and is playing some crazy shit. I would love to see that. That's my dream. Do I think it's likely? 50-50. I think 50-50 it's going to be, the winner's going to be somebody that's been playing the game for a while that knows how to cheese it, unfortunately. That's what I think. I think it's probably going to be a little cheesy because it's painfully obvious right now. Everybody knows it's true. It's painfully obvious that this tournament is very, very soon. I don't think so much that the tournament was rushed. I think that they just wanted to get HungerDome out to us sooner. Because these tournaments, events like this, they have to plan them ahead of time. Obviously, they're working with Twitch and Razer and Intel, and I'm sure they wanted to get us HungerDome much sooner than this to get more test cycles. But we got it now, and it's still fun. But in terms of tournament, the first tournament in any game is always, the first Overwatch tournaments. Overwatch, with Blizzard's money, and they spent forever making that game. It was still, those first tournaments were still cheesy as hell. So the first tournament, even if they had an entire year to iterate on HungerDome, will be cheesy because the first of everything always is. There's always going to be growing pains, but this one's early. There's no getting around it. Everyone knows. Everyone was kind of like, wait, what? When they heard this news, including me. But, we'll see how they do. I'm curious to see what the production of the tournament's going to be. It's going to be on the front page of Twitch, so I wonder if they hired, an esports, casting organization, or I don't know how. People seem to think I know everything about what's going on with this game, but I do not. I am just as curious as you guys are, but I hope they pull it off. I think it will be interesting, to say the least, and I think they do. They're working their ass off on this, guys. I don't want people to think that I'm down on them too hard. They are busted. They're literally doing tests right now on Sunday at 12 in the morning on Sunday. They've been doing it for the last 8 hours. So with the developers there working on Sundays, so they're busting their ass trying to get this thing polished up. But Godspeed, because it's coming soon. These the first matches, I believe, the first qualifying matches start in May, so they got a little bit of time before the serious matches start. But they've done some things to mitigate the cheese. Right now, they are doing archetypes, limiting players. Basically, you can't create the exact character you want to make. You can't pick all of the if you're participating in the tournament, I should say, you are limited to pre-made characters. The archetypes, in my opinion, are probably being implemented to limit the amount of cheese strategies available for players to come up with, because if everything's sort of locked down, I think that's the primary reason. I don't think it has anything to do with balance. I think they just don't want to have to worry about the liability of all of these different disciplines and talent choices potentially cheesing out, the hunger in the end, because there's a lot of variables. There's a lot of options there, which is very scary for something that is brand new. So I imagine it was done for that reason and not for balance. But the archetypes that have been created have been largely created by the top players of those various classes. My Blackguard build is actually the Blackguard archetype, which is kind of an honor. I don't think anybody will be playing the Blackguard in HungerDome. But I hope I'm wrong. I'd like to see one, but that would not be my choice for HungerDome. But I believe Blazon's Titan is on there. I think a lot of the top end players have been consulted for their various wheelhouses. So the archetypes are not terrible for the most part. I'm sure it's not exactly what you might want, but they're not terrible from what I've seen. So yeah. The tournament is going to absolutely be interesting. My hope is somebody new. I've seen a lot of the new players out there doing, I got owned today by some people that I've never heard of. Never seen them in the game before. Maybe they were alts of another character. I don't know. But I've seen some players today that were super fucking good. Never seen them before. So maybe this 25 grand's got some of the, got people out there a little excited. I'd like to see some new blood come in here and do something that we haven't seen yet. That would be great. But anyway, my personal plans, I plan on playing with everyone in HungerDome, regardless of guild rivalries, whatever. I'm playing with everybody. I grouped up with Winterblades today, grouped up with some Dissentient guys today, playing with Death, playing with anybody. I mean, I probably played solo today. I'm playing with anybody that is cool to play with. So if you have a group and you're looking for a Titan Myrmidon, that's currently what I'm playing. I'm really enjoying the Titan Myrm in HungerDome. A lot of you guys know, been watching me for a while. I made a video a long time ago talking about how Titan Myrmidon was going to be my main. Then the Assassin came out, and then I got on the Duelist, and but now, I don't know, maybe I'm back on the Titan. We'll see. The game hasn't launched yet, so maybe I'll keep that promise. So, anyway, hope you guys enjoyed the video. HungerDome is pretty awesome, and I will see you in the next one. Have a good one.